The Island of the Dolls, Mexico's most haunted island. There is a place in Mexico where hundreds of decaying dolls hang from trees. Their faces are cracked, their limbs are missing, their eyes stare endlessly into the canals. And if you listen closely, some say they whisper. But to understand how it became what it is today, we have to go back to the man who created it. The man who lived alone. His name was Don Julian Santana Barrera. In the mid-20th century, Don Julian left his family behind and moved to a small chinampa, a man-made island, in the canals of Xochimilco. Some say he wanted solitude. Others claim he was deeply religious and seeking isolation. A few whisper that he may have already been struggling with his mental health. Whatever the reason, he chose to live alone. The canals of Xochimilco are ancient. They date back to the Aztec civilization when floating gardens were used to grow crops. Today, they're a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Colorful boats, music, celebration. But away from the tourists, deeper in the winding canals, it becomes quiet, too quiet, and that's where Don Julian lived. According to legend, Don Julian discovered the body of a young girl who had drowned in the canal near his island. Shortly after, he found a doll floating in the water. Believing the doll belonged to the girl, he hung it in a tree as a sign of respect. But then things changed. Don Julian began to claim that the girl's spirit was haunting him. He said he heard whispers at night, footsteps, crying. He felt watched. To protect himself, or to appease the spirit, he began collecting more dolls. He would pull them from the canals, find them in the trash, trade vegetables for them. Many were broken, missing eyes, missing arms, their faces warped by water and decay. He didn't clean them, he didn't repair them. He hung them exactly as he found them. Over time, one doll became 10 became 50, then hundreds. For over 50 years, Don Julian covered the island in dolls, trees, fences, walls, even inside his small shack. They were everywhere. Locals began to talk. Some said Don Julian had lost his mind. Others believed he was tormented by something real. Visitors who made the journey into the deeper canals reported strange experiences. They claimed the dolls' eyes followed them. Some dolls moved their heads. Arms shifted positions between visits. Whispers echoed when no one else was there. Wind moves through Xochimilco in a very particular way. The hanging dolls sway. Their plastic limbs knock against tree trunks. In the right light, it feels alive. And then came the final twist. In 2001, Don Julian's nephew came to visit. Don Julian pointed to a specific spot in the canal and said this was where he had found the drowned girl decades earlier. Not long after, Don Julian was found dead. He had drowned, in the exact same spot. Whether it was coincidence, accident, or something darker, no one can say. But for many, it confirmed the curse of the island. Here's where the story becomes complicated. There is no official record of a young girl drowning near the island, no confirmed documentation. Some family members later claimed that the story may not have been true, that Don Julian might have imagined it. If that's the case, then the entire island, every doll, every legend, was built on a haunting that may never have happened. Which raises an even more unsettling possibility. Was Don Julian protecting himself from a spirit, or from his own mind? Today, Isla de las Muñecas still stands. It's accessible by boat through the canals of Xochimilco. Some boatmen refuse to go, others charge extra. Many tourists go out of curiosity and leave deeply unsettled. There are now thousands of dolls. Decades of exposure have made them worse. Sun-bleached faces, moss-covered hair, hollow eye sockets filled with insects. Spiders build webs through their eyelashes. Some are missing heads entirely. And yet, new dolls continue to appear. Visitors often bring them as offerings. The island has become part shrine, part horror attraction, part folk legend. Dolls exist in an uncanny space. They look human, but not quite. They're meant to represent innocence, childhood. When they decay, that innocence becomes distorted. Psychologists call this the uncanny valley, when something appears almost human, but not enough, triggering discomfort and fear. The Island of the Dolls is essentially an entire forest of uncanny valley figures, watching, waiting. Paranormal investigators who have visited claim to capture electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, cold spots, sudden battery drain, dolls changing position between recordings. Skeptics argue that suggestion and atmosphere do most of the work. When you're surrounded by hundreds of eyeless faces in near total silence, your brain fills in the gaps. Every creak becomes a footstep. Every breeze becomes a whisper. Fear is powerful. Isolation is powerful. And belief is powerful. It's also worth remembering that Xochimilco sits on ancient Aztec land. The canals are remnants of Aztecs' agricultural systems. In Aztec mythology, water was sacred, but also connected to the afterlife. Some locals believe the island's eerie presence may tap into something much older than Don Julian. Whether that's cultural memory, folklore blending with tragedy, or something more supernatural, is open to interpretation. Tragedy, isolation, and obsession. Strip away the ghosts, and the story becomes deeply human. A man isolates himself for decades. He believes he is haunted. He builds a forest of dolls to feel safe. And in the end, he dies in the same waters that began his obsession. The island becomes a physical manifestation of fear, one doll at a time. So, is it haunted? There are three possibilities. 1. A restless spirit truly haunts the island. 2. Don Julian's deteriorating mental state created the legend. 3. The power of suggestion and environment do the rest. Maybe it's a mix of all three. What's undeniable is this: the island of the dolls feels different. And sometimes, feeling is stronger than fact. If you ever travel to Mexico City and drift through the canals of Xochimilco, you may find yourself approaching a small island covered in hanging figures. Their eyes may catch the light, the wind may make them sway, and you might feel something watching you from between the trees, whether it's history, imagination, or something else entirely. Would you visit the island of the dolls?